What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another mural video. Today I'm heading back into the CBD to Club Retro. I did a external mural there about a month or two ago, but it was out on the street and I was worried about my gear getting stolen, so I wasn't able to film. But today we're working on a interior wall. It is going to be a OUTRUN style mural to sort of suit the new rooftop bar. So it's a pretty good sized wall. It's about 2.5 by 3 meters or so. We've got the car parked, but yeah, ready to head into town and let's do it. So as I mentioned during the intro, I have worked at this venue before. This tends to happen quite a bit when I'm working on projects, whether it's design related or mural related. Normally once you've done something for someone, they find a few other things for you to work on, which is always nice. But last time, I did the front facing sort of side of the building out on the street. And this time they had me back to paint over a mural that they had done a couple years ago. It's a little bit outdated now and it has sort of aged a bit over time, and the venue has put in a new rooftop bar, and it's a rooftop burger bar, and so they wanted the artwork to reflect that. So the whole thing that they were going for was this OUTRUN vibe, which is that sort of really 80s Miami sort of neon blues and pinks. It's a pretty fun sort of like theme to work within. So I sort of just took that idea, and this is the artwork that I came up with. If I remember, I might slip in me creating the design itself, which I did on my iPad Pro. That's how I create all of my designs for whenever I'm working on murals. I find that that's the best way to give clients the most accurate representation on how the final result is going to look. So I was working, as you can see, on this pretty narrow staircase. This is actually probably like 5 or 6 floors up. It's a really tall, massive building. The nightclub itself is kind of cool, like each room has a different vibe. But yeah, so obviously this is the rooftop bar. So this wall that I was working on here is the last wall that you see before you enter this rooftop sort of section. And the owner of the building was sort of saying that they wanted to keep the staircase itself actually a little bit dingy, and they sort of didn't want to go too overboard on the reno of the staircase, because a lot of places in Melbourne have these sort of like really average staircases or entranceways, or you kind of go down some grungy laneways and you end up in this really beautiful space or restaurant or bar or whatever it may be. So that's sort of, oddly enough, the vibe that they were going for here, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So this is like a bit of a welcome mat to the rooftop bar itself. Work on the staircase wasn't too bad. The only issue was that it was pretty dimly lit. Above the wall, you can't see in the video, but there are some pretty big windows that bring in some natural light, but they don't bring in enough. So we bought in a floodlight, and that is essentially what lighted the scene. I was unsure whether I was actually going to film this piece because of the lighting, but I'm glad I did. It turned out to be a pretty cool video and a pretty cool piece. I am actually pretty curious what you guys think of a video like this. So this sort of like design and mural itself, I would say is a lot more commercial than a lot of the work that I tend to do. I mean, a lot of the murals, I guess, are commercial to an extent because somebody's paying me to come in and do those. But I mean, there was a lot less sort of creative freedom with this one. They knew exactly what they wanted, and it was sort of more about advertising this overall bar, this restaurant burger bar sort of vibe that they've got going on. So yeah, if you do like seeing both sides of what I do, the sort of more commercial work as well as the more sort of like independent creative work, then definitely let me down below. It's good to know what you guys enjoy watching. But I thought you know, you guys might learn something from this piece and hopefully get something out of it. And it was still worth putting up. So, but yeah, please do let me know down below what you think. Just quickly before I move on, in my eyes, I think it's kind of interesting to see both sides of the work that I do, and to give you guys a bit of a better overall perspective about what it's like being a freelancing artist, because yeah, I guess I've sort of learned all this as I've gone. There's no sort of like real A to B on what to do, so I think it's interesting to see somebody's take on how they approach it, because at the end of the day, every artist has their own method and they sort of approach the business side of things very differently. So yeah. One thing as well that I get asked quite a lot is how I draw a perfect circle. Obviously there is a circle smack bang in the middle of this piece, and essentially the way that I did that, if you scroll back earlier in the video, you'll sort of see as I'm laying down the blue background part of the mural, you'll see me do it really fast. But essentially what I'm doing is taking a piece of string, a piece of tape, and a piece of chalk, and essentially what I'm doing is I am attaching the chalk to one side of the string, I am attaching the tape to the other side of the string. The length of the string determines how big the circle is going to be. I am placing the tape side of the string where I want the exact center of the circle to be, and then I'm holding that piece of string out with my right hand and holding that piece of chalk, and I'm using the tension of the string to guide me around and to create that perfect circle. So yeah, if you wind back, you'll see sort of quickly. Next time I do one, I might break it down and actually discuss and give you a little bit more of a tutorial on how I do that, so it makes a bit more sense. But aside from this piece, I've been really busy, which is great. Got a couple of more murals coming up, as well as I'm soon going to be able to finally release that video in which I did that mural for the TV show back in early January, I think it was, or actually might have been late December. But it's one of the biggest murals that I've done. Actually, it probably is the biggest mural that I've done, and I was really stoked with the results. So I'm looking forward to being able to share that with everyone. But for now, that's it, and yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll catch you in the next video.